Hi there, in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to make an arpeggiated sound inside Massive, useful for kind of drum and bass genres. It's quite a sequenced arpeggiator with lots of possibilities to kind of variate the sound to keep it interesting if you're going to use it in a track. So this is the raw sound what we're going to be creating today. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new sound in Massive, show you how to program this sound, and then show you how you could potentially automate a sound like this if you're using it in a track. So create a new sound, oscillator 1 we're going to keep as a saw. We're going to take the pitch up by 1 octave and keep intensity on full, amp on full, and keep it rooted to both filters here, and turn on oscillator 2, and this is going to be a square wave. Take the pitch up by plus 19, so we have quite a nice sort of pitch relationship between the two oscillators here by going plus 7 on this second oscillator. Keep the wavetable position stays all the way to the right, intensity on full, amp on full, and it's routed to both the filters again. And we're going to have screen filters here in both instances. Take the cutoff of this first one down a little bit, keep the scream in the middle and the resonance in the middle, and for filter 2 turn the volume up and make it a scream filter again. Take the cutoff down a little bit and push the scream all the way to the top or full on this one, and push the resonance up a little bit. So next thing to do really, maybe just set the envelope quickly, just give it a sharper attack so we've got to have a nice sort of sustained note going here. And in the voicing section give it 2 voices and just give the sound a little bit of width as well by turning the pan position on and moving this slider a little bit here. It'll be a very quiet sound until we start modulating some stuff. So the first thing to do maybe is set up the arpeggiator. So make this first LFO, make it into a stepper, turn on the sync there, and we're going to have a ratio of 1/32, so quite a fast sort of arpeggiator going here. I'm going to pull the steps. I only need 8 steps for this arpeggiator. So the first step's going to be plus 12, the next step is going to be plus 7, the next plus 3, and the next 2 steps 4 and 5 are going to remain on 0, and then we're going to go back up again, basically plus 3, plus 7 and plus 12 again, and then we need to drag this to the pitch of both the oscillators to get that arpeggiator or pitch kind of modulation going there. So turn the volume up so you hear it. So there you go, we've got our sort of basic kind of arpeggiated sound going there. So for the next LFO, let's make this a performer, and this is going to modulate the cutoff frequencies of both filters. So drag this to cutoff 1 and turn the modulation amount up to full, and drag it to cutoff 2 and do the same thing again. And we're going to sync this, going to be 1/16, and we're going to change some of these shapes here. So for the top performer, drag this curve, this sort of plucky curve in the top right hand corner, and if I click on the first one and then with the mouse still click down, just drag, and it will just drag them all. I can just change them all very quickly. And for the bottom performer, this kind of sort of, I suppose it's a little bit like a sine really, this one here, get this and do the same thing again. But what I'm going to do for this bottom performer is I'm going to mess around with some of the levels and just have it so the level dips down and then kind of comes back up again, something like that. So so we have that variation with the sound going there. So next thing I can do is set up a synched delay on the sound, keep the dry wet very low, and push the damp up so we can hear, we get a nice bit of high frequency on the delay now. And going to have the left channel 1/1 and the right 1/16. So like that. And the next effects we're going to set up is a chorus effect, and pull the dry wet down a little bit. just getting quite a nice bit of chorus on the sound there. And one of the next things to do here is set up an envelope to modulate the scream of this second filter. And the reason I've set up two filters in a very similar way is that this top filter, when we start to automate this sound, this is just going to stay the same. So this is going to be the clean arpeggiated sound, and we're going to modulate this one so we can switch with this mix slider. We could switch between the kind of heavily modulated filter and the clean filter. So for now, let's drag this mix slider down to the bottom and drag the crosshair of envelope 1 to modulate the scream amount in the reverse direction, so like that. And what we're going to do for this amount is we're going to set a sustain loop up on we're using this envelope. So back the attack off, so we're going to get the scream. This basically what we're doing now is just moving this slider here like this automatically using this envelope. Click the trigger 0 reset so the envelope resets each time a new key is pressed. And let's activate this sustain loop by this loop at the moment is off, and I'm going to click and drag all the way up until it becomes infinite. So basically what this means now is as long as the key is held down, it's going to loop. The sound is going to loop, this envelope is going to loop between this sustain loop, and then we can set different parameters of this sustain loop here. So I'm going to push it up so it's a little bit of a wider, sort of longer, and then the morph pull up a little bit, and then we need to set the morph kind of shapes. So I'm going to have the same shape for both here, which is going to be the sine 1.5. So here we go, so we get like this sine here. So push the sustain loop level up like this. So what we get now is this. Effectively what we're going to be doing here with this, if I took that off, is it's going to move like that, and then it's going to be going up and down like that. So similar to what an LFO was doing, but we're using the sustain loop here to just kind of like create that modulation. So push the sustain loop up, it becomes slower. As I put it down, it becomes much quicker with the modulation. So I'm going to keep it around about there, and that's the sound pretty much put together now. So what I'm going to do is loop it over and start sort of automating some of these parameters to see where you could take this sound if you were using it in one of your tracks. What we could do to begin with, that sync delay, take that right up. Get quite a nice sound. And then for the left channel, we can move this up to 1/32. Take the delay, the wet slider right off, play with the cutoffs. Take the resonance right down, get more of a melodic sound. Or of course you could move the mix slider up to filter 1, and then you're not getting this scream kind of modulation, you're just the cleaner filter really. And remember, we've got this performer in here. Change the speed of the stepper or the arpeggiator. Okay, so there you have the sound really, a sort of arpeggiated kind of sequenced sound, useful for maybe drum and bass genres really. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, I hope you found it useful. Any questions, let us know, and yeah, thanks for watching, hope to see you again soon. Cheers, bye.